Apple's new Vision Pro terrifies me. On June 5th, 2023, Apple released their brand new game-changing product, the Vision Pro, and the hype was unreal. In just the build-up to the new product announcement, Apple's stock was bubbling up, rising in anticipation for its release, because Apple's leadership and key investors knew that by unveiling their new Vision Pro, they would be changing human history forever. Because as soon as the product was announced, everyone everywhere was quick to say that this was the same as when the first iPhone was introduced, or the first Mac. The Vision Pro is being praised by all corners of the internet and media.
But this feels like the Series Zero, like the Apple Watch. Remember when the Apple Watch first came out, the Series Zero? The parts of this headset that I tried are actually the best I have ever seen in any VR headset by a mile.
This headset is claiming to be the ultimate mixed reality VR AR experience, and I will say, it may very well be.
When they're boasting the ability to recreate the world around you in real time using LiDAR scanning and true depth cameras from the headset you're wearing, while it supposedly runs cool and quiet, man, even at that price point, I'm pretty blown away.
Everyone and the dog knew that this was the beginning of a new era. Tweets everywhere praising Apple's holy grail, their most addictive, cutting edge, and groundbreaking piece of technology yet. To the point that even huge companies like Disney partnering with Apple due to their strong conviction that this will finally be the VR headset to make virtual reality mainstream, with Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, saying,
"And we believe Apple Vision Pro is a revolutionary platform that can make our vision a reality."
And they're not entirely wrong. This is most definitely a groundbreaking, historic, and unprecedented product. But throughout all of the noise, one question has stuck with me about all of this. What problem is Apple actually solving? Now, this is the fundamental question of all businesses, because every great product is built from this line of thinking. What is the problem? How big is the problem? And how can I solve this problem? The bigger the problem and the bigger the solution, the more money you make as a business. If it's $1 million problem, the solution makes millions. If it's $1 billion problem, the solution makes billions. Jeff Bezos with Amazon, for example, solves the issue of a shop not having the products that you want, having to go to different shops for different things, the hassle of actually going to the shop in the first place, going at certain hours, having to stand in line, whilst Amazon also provides cheaper prices than any other shop with instant delivery. This, along with all the other problems that Bezos is solving through Twitch, Whole Foods, Audible, Blue Origin, etc., has made Bezos one of the richest people in the world. So then this brings back the question, what problem is Apple trying to fix with the Vision Pro? Well, at first it seems like they're just trying to solve the issue of virtual reality not being popular in the public. But is this actually a problem? Does anyone actually want virtual reality to be mainstream, apart from Silicon Valley tech elites? No, the real problem that the Vision Pro is trying to solve is that not everyone in the world can have everything they always want. In fact, for the average person around the world, you have almost nothing you actually want or need. The despairing malaise that hangs heavy in the West permeates from the fact that there is no sense of adventure in your life, no community, no freedom. You spend every day struggling to pay the rent, the bills, the debt. Prices keep increasing, taxes keep hiking. Your income is stagnating, a recession is booming. Where we live in dystopian citadels with transient inhabitants, squabbling cheek by jowl for space. Where your only free time is spent being shuttled on grindingly slow packed public transport through a dangerous urban sprawl, with just enough energy left at the end of the day to mindlessly watch a drip of lethargic empty entertainment, where you then wake up in a gloomy claustrophobic tower block, streaked with grime and riddled with moss, provoking the moral decay of your atomized existence. And as bleak as this may sound, this is the average life for most people. But with the perfect virtual reality system, this problem is solved. If the product is good enough, then the sad reality of your life just slowly fades out and a new reality begins. You can be crying of loneliness in your dark, empty apartment, but then when you put on the headsets, your true reality just dissolves away. You're taken to see different friends, different cultures, different places, different memories, more social media, more dopamine-sucking videos, more games, more pleasure, in a way that you've never experienced before. I mean, when Tim Cook announced the Vision Pro, one of the key aspects of this new technology is the idea that this new kind of computer will blend the real world and the digital world together. A process that has already been catalyzed by Apple today. I mean, when you just stop and look around you, you'll notice how many people are just completely consumed by their iPhones and Macs. Our attention spans have been decimated by iPhones. The design of the iPhone and how addictive it truly is has kept the average person in a perpetual cycle of distraction ever since, endlessly disrupted by short dopamine hits. That's why in 2022, it was calculated that the average American spends 6 hours a day on their phone and another 4 hours on their computer. But with the new Vision Pro, you won't ever need to pick up a phone or a laptop. you can just be plugged straight into the Appleverse with your eyes, attaching your own consciousness, your life, your business, your culture, your society into a virtual world run by Apple. I mean, already we saw this in 2021 with Meta's Metaverse, as companies like Nike were buying up virtual shoe companies along with Walmart, McDonald's, Gucci, and just so many more. But then you may be asking, what is actually the problem with any of this? What's so bad about it? Surely this isn't something that negative. And even if it is, it's very unlikely that it's going to be widely adopted. I mean, the Vision Pro is $3,500. People don't have the money to be doing this. Most people don't even make this in a month. No average person's going to have the money to be doing this, right? Well, trust me when I say that the rabbit hole of the Vision Pro goes so much deeper than you first think. And very soon, the Vision Pro will become as normal as MacBooks are today. This is Apple's plan, and to understand the true consequences of Vision Pro and what experts are terrified of, we need to see why the Vision Pro was created by Apple in the first place. Now, the idea for Apple's Vision Pro stemmed from the increasing interest and potential of augmented reality technology, with Facebook being rumored as early as 2013 to be putting all of their focus into virtual reality. And with this knowledge, Apple knew that they had to have skin in the game, because this wasn't just Facebook. Companies like Oculus, Microsoft, and HTC were already releasing their own VR headsets, creating a competitive landscape that Apple had to navigate. Because Tim Cook and Apple's leadership knew that eventually phones and laptops would reach a cap in their market potential, but virtual reality was a completely new possibility. Because eventually phones and laptops will reach a cap in their market potential, but virtual reality was a completely new possibility, an untapped, highly addictive industry with the potential to change the entire global economy and human history. Apple recognized the society-changing possibilities of blending the digital world seamlessly with the real world, and time was running out. They had to get started before any other company like Facebook monopolized the industry. Because if Apple wasn't at the forefront of VR, then this could have potentially wiped out billions of Apple stock a decade later in the future. And with Apple's strategic history of staying at the forefront of technological advancements, there was no way they were ever going to be behind Facebook in the VR wars. Now, not much is known about the development of Vision Pro. However, Apple has worked on the headset hardware and software since at least 2016, most likely 2015, in a division called the Technology Development Group. However, as soon as development started on the Vision Pro, Apple was facing some giant issues. For starters, if Apple was going to addict and plug billions of people into their virtual reality, the experience would need to be seamless, as close to true reality as possible, which was an incredibly hard challenge, especially considering this was almost 10 years ago. The most powerful VR headsets at the time was the first version of the Oculus Rift, and the Oculus was heavy and uncomfortable for long periods of time. It was ugly and it felt fake. There was no possible way when you used the Oculus Rift that you would believe it was reality. So Apple knew that if they were going to keep people constantly wired into their own virtual reality, they would need to change this. They had to make the design a compact and lightweight headset with powerful processors, high-resolution displays, advanced sensors, and efficient battery systems. As though you weren't wearing anything at all, Apple was treading uncharted waters. No one had ever done anything like this before, and that's why reports suggest that Apple's engineers and designers spent years refining and perfecting the headset's features, focusing on comfort, usability, and immersive experiences for years. And this was just the start, because augmented reality also requires intuitive and seamless user interaction. So Apple faced the task of designing an interface that would allow users to effortlessly navigate the digital and physical worlds, also while maintaining a natural and immersive experience. So natural that you didn't even realize you had it on. And in addition, the Vision Pro also had to integrate seamlessly with its existing ecosystem of devices and services. As one of the key parts of the Vision Pro was that you could connect your photos and apply the iCloud system to your eyes, as though all the stuff that you do on your phone was now just your true reality, because this would allow you to do the unthinkable. Things like watching memories from 5 years ago as if you were there in the exact moment when it happened, along with being able to work wherever you are in the world, without even a computer. All your contacts, work documents, notes, videos, presentations, and music, all stored away in your eyes. And this wasn't just as simple as using the same software for iPhones, iPads, and Macs, because Apple would need to build from the ground up a completely robust, perfect ecosystem of virtual reality applications and content to provide engaging and diverse experiences for Vision Pro users. Having to make deals with Disney to be on the Vision Pro, along with countless other companies that still haven't been disclosed yet. But eventually, it worked. And after almost 9 years of development, the Vision Pro now looks to be one of the first successful attempts at Silicon Valley breaking into the virtual reality market. By delivering an all-in-one augmented reality headset, Apple has paved the way for immersive and interactive experiences that were once only the stuff of science fiction. Even Ready Player One, a film that was released in 2017, seemed unthinkable. But now with the release of Vision Pro in 2023, and this not only sets a new standard for augmented reality, but experts now also warn that this radical new technology will transform every aspect of society. And this is where things get really crazy. Vision Pro is creating an entirely new economy. Virtual reality and AI is what experts predict to be $1 billion or even $1 trillion industry in the near future. And just like the dot-com bubble, markets are eating up this vision of the future. Although what's being sold as market salvation is actually growth in just 7 tech stocks, opportunities that are long overhyped and overpriced by the time we get to them. In reality, every other company is sinking into the red. Inflation still rages, and even with a healthy 6-figure salary, many people are still living paycheck to paycheck. Now rich fat cats would have us blissfully watching Fast and Furious 17 on our Apple headsets, while they stay one step ahead, storing their wealth in secretive markets known for their stability. But now, we can beat the billionaires at their own game, getting into a market that keeps growing, fueled by the uber rich, the art market. Even during 2023's economic catastrophe, art market sales have risen above pre-pandemic levels, and luckily you too can invest in this market without needing Elon-level money, because our longtime sponsor Masterworks has already sold over $45 million of luxury art, with the net proceeds paid out directly to investors like you. In fact, Masterworks' platform has delivered returns of 10, 17, and even 32% net. And with 700,000 plus members, it's no surprise that Masterworks' offerings can sell in minutes, and there's a waitlist to join, but you can get special access to skip that waitlist using the link in the description. Apple's new headset, while very impressive, is only the beginning. It bears the markings of a 1.0 product, the first unperfected move towards a new type of device, a new wave of technology. And with the Vision Pro announcement coming just 5 days after the release of the Meta Quest 3, which was Zuck's latest attempt at growing his metaverse plan, it's clear that everyone in Silicon Valley is pushing towards this. And that's why we're seeing the creation of what people are calling the real world web. Apple referred to this in their announcement, calling the Vision Pro the first device they've made that you look through rather than at. Rather than using a device to peer into the virtual world, people have the virtual world overlaid onto the real one. We'll interact with it every day through virtual screens, objects, places, and people. In short, the virtual world will have finally crossed the border into reality itself. And the Vision Pro's double 4K screens are already close to photorealism, making this future alarmingly close. And like I mentioned, this will change everything in society. Surgeons, for example, will see real-time medical information and possible problems when they're working. In fact, people can be trained for nearly any job using AR assistants. People with memory loss will be able to relive lost memories. Schools and colleges will combine classroom settings with virtual reality. That's why the Vision Pro will change the world just as much as the internet has. But if left unchecked, there will be some serious problems.
These social media platforms are picking the next president, the next congressman. They're literally picking, and they have the power to pick, so they will be controlled by the government.
That's why Professor Reed explained when talking about virtual reality that, quote, the ultimate aim is not just virtual reality or augmented reality, it's mixed reality. It's blending the digital and the real world together. And ultimately this blend may be so good and so pervasive that the virtual and the real become indistinguishable. And the market for that is gigantic, because whoever controls it will basically have control over your entire reality. And then when you really think about it, if an entire new world, memories, life and culture is adopted into the virtual world, then who's actually controlling this world? The same company using sweatshops with suicide nets in China? The same company caught spying on all of its users with iPhones? The same company that censors any political opinions that don't fit into their ESG score? It's clear that our free will not be as free as we think very soon, because we're becoming attached to the virtual world on autopilot, and it's already happening, where our phones and computers are morphing into our second brains, with all of our memories, personal tastes, secrets, hobbies, music, conversations, all being stored into a virtual cloud. But once we actually live inside the virtual world, when our entire society and culture exists in this virtual world, that's when we need to be concerned. Because if the Vision Pro succeeds, it will be bigger than the iPhone. And this leads on to one of the biggest problems where they are in the Vision Pro lie. Augmented reality will remove the last few seconds of time between the impulse to follow the distraction and getting the dopamine reward. They will push the digital world of distractions right into people's faces. And this final wall between us and the digital world is crucial. Instead of having adverts and notifications appear on your phone, they'll appear directly in your vision. With augmented reality, technology will become even more demanding of your attention and your time, and Apple will use this to their advantage, plugging you into their addictive data harvesting system 24/7, giving them an untold wealth of information to sell. But it goes the other way as well. One of the most celebrated upcoming features of the Vision Pro is its insane eye tracking capability. With a set of incredibly detailed and intricate cameras, the headset will use eye movement as a key navigation device for the entire interface. I mean, it's already been revealed that the headset will create a user profile based on how you use your eyes to focus on things and view your environment. And this information is gold to advertisers and personality profilers. By studying the data on the exact way that you perceive and see adverts, big tech will have even more tools to predict what you'll want next. They'll be able to tell exactly how long each thing they show you keeps your attention and what draws you away, what sights distract you, what colors light up your brain. And this will complement and work in tandem with the real world web, meaning that your every desire will literally be at your fingertips. And it's in this way that augmented reality and the real world web brings us far closer to Nozic's experience machine. Now this is a classic thought experiment of a machine that offers you the best possible existence, complete bliss and pleasure. The only cost that comes with this is that you won't want to ever be unplugged. It detaches you from reality itself. Even though it's literal heaven, lots of people won't accept being plugged in, as there's a value in reality that's unattainable from a simulation, or at least that's what the thought experiment suggests. And this is exactly what the Vision Pro offers: happiness and a world of information and entertainment at your fingertips. But we've already seen that this isn't bringing people happiness. In fact, it's doing the opposite. I mean, the majority of people in the West have access to luxuries that the lords and kings of history couldn't even dream of. Hot showers, a diverse and delicious range of food and drinks, entertainment at a moment's notice. But we're never actually happier. We're more miserable, lonely, and empty every single day. Because the happiness that augmented reality and the experience machine promise is false. The whole idea of this philosophical concept is that happiness isn't something that we should value above everything else. It's fleeting when it's provided through distractions and hedonism. Nietzsche's work on happiness gives us the real reason behind all of this. People see happiness as the end result of a cycle of wanting something, then getting it. But for Nietzsche, happiness isn't the end result of a process. Instead, it's a byproduct of the process as a whole. It's the journey, not the destination. The hard work of achieving your goals in life, both big and small, is where happiness really comes from. And the problem with the Vision Pro is that it promises to get rid of all the obstacles that make the journey in the first place, pretty much removing the journey entirely. And this will kill the small amounts of happiness left to take in the world. Paradoxically, pursuing happiness as the final goal, as the solution to the masses problem, means that people will never actually find real happiness. Therefore, Apple isn't really solving the issue that it's trying to fix. Outside of helping you to do a specific thing in a specific case, it will only serve as a distraction just like iPhones do. It will reduce your attention span and make you easily distracted and less determined, which are the qualities that run completely counter to the cycle of achievement that Nietzsche describes, the happiness inhibitors. It's a procrastination machine, leaving the masses more addicted, more distracted, more dopamine deprived than ever before. It won't just be people based on virtual reality though. The type of content we consume will also change to reflect the shortening of attention spans. The short form content that's become so prevalent will evolve to fill the niches that AR leaves open. They already play on experience. Most short form content tries to provoke a single emotion in the quickest way possible. So just think of 1-minute pet adoption videos that are playing on your heartstrings, or the 5-second skits and jokes that won your laughter, or other forms of short form content that give you multiple things to focus on at once, like a podcast clip with some satisfying imagery or some game footage all mashed together. AR will then let these videos intrude on your other senses and give them a real presence, making them that much more immersive and therefore more addictive. These horrible videos becoming seamlessly integrated into your actual world. Another side effect that most people don't even discuss about this is how virtual reality is going to affect people in delusions. People like otherkins, furries, or TikTok reality shifters who think they're actually in the Harry Potter universe. Virtual reality will only give these people the means to live out their delusions, turning their own worlds into what they want them to be. Or just imagine political echo chambers that come into reality and manifest themselves in your living room, or a world of Instagram models and influencers and adult entertainment stars that will look more real than real, without taking off their headset or unplugging from the system, and you'll be under the illusion that everyone looks perfect. Your dopamine will be fried, and any addictions you have to attractive girls on Instagram and other sites will only be doubled. This is the future we're rapidly approaching, and Apple's Vision Pro is the first step in that direction. A new virtual world that will strip you of your privacy, discipline, focus, freedom, and authenticity. So long as our culture continues to offer nothing whatsoever of substance, authenticity, or meaning, nightmarish trends like the Vision Pro will only continue to proliferate. And the sad fact is that the majority of us will jump in without even a second thought. If you want more details on this and other similar topics, I have a newsletter here where I send weekly solutions to modern life, using a broad range of philosophers and experts' ideas made simple for you. It's completely free, and I promise you that within each essay there are real unique solutions that you can apply to your own life. Not just some modern day BS answers, I'm talking about the smartest philosophers throughout history, making their work simple and applicable for your own life. I've put a link in the description below.